What to think if you bought this book for yourself. Good for you. It says a great deal about you that you would carry around a book with the word anxious in the title, especially since you are not anxious. Oh, sure, there's that little bubble of fear that sits in your stomach most days. But who doesn't have that? The answer is calm people. Anxiety is a total stranger to you. Well, maybe not a total stranger. Maybe you see anxiety in the neighborhood from time to time. Heck, maybe you have welcomed anxiety into your home, had a coffee and a laugh. Well, maybe not a laugh so much as a question, and that question was about your persistent cough and whether you should have an MRI that very day. The point is to relax. Remember, you are not an anxious person, and you are listening to a book with the word anxious in the title to prove it. But also thinking that maybe you should return it and hoping that you've kept the receipt. What to think if you borrowed this book from a friend or the library. Really? You couldn't buy this? I'm a freelance poet, for God's sake. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get the IRS to even recognize that as a real thing? Wow. WebMD. It started out simple enough. A brief search. Canker sore, which I spelled wrong, and now realize is a district in India, when spelled wrong, as well as the Dutch slang for a very bad word, and also somehow cancer, which led me to a site that linked canker sores to cold sores, showing how oral cancer lesions can mimic an open canker sore, symptoms of which include mouth pain and difficulty swallowing, both of which I suddenly had, as I followed a link to the definition of head and neck cancer, which I did not know was a thing. Nor did I realize I was now at risk of it, as a result of my mouth lesion, cancer sore, which often causes golf ball-sized tumors, resulting in blindness, lack of motor function, and complete sexual dysfunction, which is good to know. Then I looked up an earache I was having, and it turns out I have 2 months to live, or possibly a head cold. Eulogy. We are here today to celebrate the life of Martin Greengrass, father, grandfather, dear friend, and I, Nathan, his eldest grandson, have been chosen, honored really, to give his eulogy. Where do I begin? Boy, was he old. Also, apparently, eulogy is from the Greek word to praise, or possibly to die. I'm not sure, as I just looked that one up on my phone. If I appear a bit nervous, it's because I am. The thing is, I have never given a eulogy, but I wrote something last night and put it on my desk next to the work presentation I have later tomorrow to our agency's CoffeeMate client. And so what I have here is, in fact, my CoffeeMate presentation. The irony, of course, is that Martin loved CoffeeMate, the original flavor, but also French vanilla, Irish cream, and our newest flavor, hazelnut. I would now like to open it up for questions about Martin, as well as CoffeeMate's marketing strategy for Q4. Here comes someone whose name I should know. We have met so many times, you and I, and yet I have no idea what your name is, as I stand frozen, inane grin on my face. Do you have a name? Here you come, smiling, calling my name, as well as the names of my wife, children, and dog, Fortinbras, which I kind of can't believe you remember. My God, you're almost here, and I will need to introduce you to the person next to me, whose name may be Beth or Valentina. I'm not sure. Here's a quick thought, not about your name, but about the urge I have right now to just start running. That would be a weird thing to do, though, at a children's birthday party. but not as weird as what I do, which is stuff 2 cupcakes into my mouth so as not to be able to speak, but almost immediately choke, spewing frosting on your face. "Oh my God, Alan," Beth or Valentina shouts. Alan, his name is Alan, which I will now never forget.